Thank you, sir. United States for his remarks.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you, all my colleagues. This is, thank you, Mr. Prime Minister. One Earth.
And sent its heart to him in an envelope. He liked it so much, he told the police and even the newspapers. Then I burned down his place of business, and now I have a special surprise for him.
Oh, you have a great week. Isn't that really beautiful? That's all we have time for. If your heart is lonely, listen to other losers, and you won't be lonely anymore. You'll want to spend the rest of your life in isolation, away from people, which is progress after all. Until next time.
I hope you enjoyed Lonely Hearts. It's always fun to laugh at other people's misery, isn't it?
Talk is cheap, especially on this station. Featuring more rich, angry people complaining. WCTR.
Mom! Josh just broke the vodka bottle on your nightstand. Chris did it! You little shits! I'll kill you!
Raising a family in the suburbs is tough, especially when you used to be a hip single woman on her own in a cool enclave of town. With today's stresses, it's difficult to maintain a loving, exploratory sex relationship with your husband and counter the temptations to kill your own children.
I love my family. What can I do?
Sometimes you need a helping hand. Send the right message about values and character. With Grin, Grin readjusts your brain chemistry in a completely safe way.
I hated my life. Now I love my minivan. Instead of spending time with friends, I work on the house. The Earth is bipolar. I am too. Grin keeps me at the equator. Primitive, sunny, and always feeling hot.
Grin is scientifically formulated by science to help cure the anxiety, depression, and lack of self-confidence that comes with living a new life in the suburbs. It's safe and non-addictive. After all, what could be habit-forming about a pill that makes you feel better all of the time? If you're feeling like nothing matters, unemotional, and gaining weight, why not regain your confidence with...
Up next on WCTR, it's The Man Coaches Hate. It's Derek Thackeray in the tight end zone. Brought to you by Eris Pump Up Shoes, because women love a winner.
What's your colors?
One family, one future. That's the focus of this G20 summit. And in many ways, it's also the focus of this partnership that we're talking about today. Building sustainable, resilient infrastructure, making quality infrastructure investments, and creating a better future. A future that presents greater opportunity, dignity, and prosperity for everyone. Last year, we came together as one to commit to this vision. And this afternoon, I want to highlight the key ways in which the United States and our partners are working to make this a reality. Economic corridors. You're going to hear that phrase more than once, I expect, over the next decade. Economic corridors. As we work to address infrastructure gaps across low and middle income countries, we need to maximize the impacts of our investments. That's why a few months ago I announced that the United States will work with our partners to invest in economic corridors. In practice, it means we're focusing on regional infrastructure projects that deliver results across multiple countries and in multiple sectors. And today I'm proud to announce that we've finalized a historic agreement for a new India, Middle East, Europe economic corridor. As a key part of this corridor, we're going to invest in ships and rail that extends from India all the way to Europe, connected by the UAE, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, and Israel. Bridging ports across 2 continents, unlocking endless opportunities, including making it far easier to trade, export clean energy, expand access to reliable, clean electricity, lay cables that will connect communities and secure a stable internet, contributing to a more stable, more prosperous, and integrated Middle East. And I want to thank the sponsors, And I particularly want to thank Prime Minister Modi and the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, Mohammed bin Salman, and President von der Leyen and the European Commissions. And since he's not speaking today, I wanted to, maybe he is speaking today. I had a note he wasn't speaking. Anyway, I'm going to stop there. In the sub-Saharan Africa, we're working in a private-public partnership as well to invest in a trans-African corridor. That includes a new partner, the European Union. President von der Leyen, thank you for making this very possible. Together, as part of this corridor, we're going to invest in a new rail line that will extend from the western port in Angola to the DRC, to Zambia, and ultimately the Indian Ocean. It's a project that's about far from just laying tracks. It's about creating jobs, increasing trade, strengthening supply chains, boosting connectivity, laying foundations that will strengthen commerce and food security for people across multiple countries. This is a game-changing regional investment, and both of these are huge steps forward. But they're far from the only ones. We're continuing to make big investments in infrastructure around the world. That includes a solar energy site and insulin manufacturing facility and electricity project right here in India. We're continuing to develop economic corridors across Africa, Asia, and the Americas. And together with our partners, we're working to mobilize the trillions of investment needed to close infrastructure gaps around the world, including the formation of a new investment forum that the United States will host in a couple of weeks. Let me close with this. The world stands at an inflection point in history, a point where decisions we make today are
And
what team you for?
Lose their jobs and fight.
And you could tell that they were going to play this game.
Bottom line is, if they don't score more points than the other team, they can't win.
Man, you have some spooky insights into sports, dude. I love your show, man. I love you.
That's really perceptive stuff. You know, we've been petitioning stadiums to install a urinal trough in front of each row of seats. Now, it's so inconvenient having to leave your seat, make everyone stand up, get up, you know, to let you by, then go stand in line for the bathroom. I mean, half the time we can barely walk anyway, all right? So we'll be handing out petitions that say, support the team. Don't leave the game, pee at your seat. Go into the phone.
I'm a big fight fan. Love a bit of a punch-up. Since my wife and children got taken into a shelter, my friend said, Chuck, you obviously love hitting things. So I've gotten into boxing. How about that fight between Gonzalez and Jack?
Well, there's one thing about boxing I always remember. You know, one man wins, the other goes home a loser. Because in boxing, unlike most sports, gravity works downwards.
You gotta be shitting me.
Hey, Derek Thackeray, don't shit on no one. But, I do like to piss on my seat and, at my seat too. Not really on it, so stay out of the way.
But tell me, the fight game, that ain't rigged, is it?
Of course not. Hey, how could anything professional be fake? Hey, there's too much money at stake for one thing. I mean, these guys got too much to lose. I mean, why is a guy gonna take a dive for a few extra million when he could earn that over a number of years getting his brain turned to pulp? Be serious for a minute. The clock counting down again. It's time for Derek to head to the locker room and celebrate in the shower. We'll see you next time. Bring a cooler full of beers and get ready to riot. This has been the Tight End Zone.
And this is WCTR, proving that radio is better than TV. That's the show men with large guts love.
All the news the government wants you to hear. WCTR.
If you're into exploring exotic places and forbidden fruit, stay tuned. It's the Wild Traveler.
Support for the Wild Traveler is brought to you by the Ultimate Fisk in the Dark Association of America, who encourages you to get out and play hard. Hello, I'm James Pedestrian, World Traveler, and this is the Wild Traveler. We're discussing the world and all of its many pleasures. Let me put it like this. I have a hot dog from an uncaring vendor about a bathroom, or you can attend a beer-guzzling marathon in Germany with enormous men and taste wonderful German's wurst. The world is full of edible things, and you can discover them for yourself. Come along, I'll take you there. It was dusk, and the sun bled red over the city in Thailand as Chen brought me a sparkling drink. A delicate, handsome, lovely young boy. But war is folly, and we can only unite by visiting these epochs of culture, where a man can be himself, smoke cigarettes, dress in gladiator clothing if he likes. We mustn't force our way and culture upon other people. Rather, leave it in. Maybe Hemingway was right about love. Maybe Ford was. We're all fighting inside to have a wild creature mate in the wind. I travel, therefore I am. This is a show that embraces culture from around the world. Let's take our first caller.
Yeah, I totally agree with you about Australia. And you're right, the moon is shit. Also, thinking of visiting Colombia. Do you have any recommendations?
Oh, yes, fantastic forms of recreation to be had in Colombia. It's a blizzard of excitement. The rails are great. Long. Libya's not bad either. Or cool. You'll be surprised to find out how the party never stops.
How's the food?
Well, a lighter is the most you need to cook up food. But there's scarcely time to eat, my boy. You'll meet fascinating people, feel so comfortable you'll rip your clothes off. Good days.
Hi, my name's Geraldine, calling from Castle City. Such a great country. Why would you go anywhere else? It's unpatriotic to travel. I mean, I got war, famine, depression, and pollution right here on my doorstep. And parents, don't let kids Euro-rail after college. They'll come back with ludicrous misconceptions about healthcare, charity, and civilization. Europe is not the real world. This is.
Well, I love to slum about in a dirty roof hostel with communal showers as much as the next man. Overrated. Eastern Europe was good for a few years after the wall came down, but even there the police are too strict. You just can't let your...
Watch yourself.
Hey, fool! Where you from?
For the Grove, dude. We gotta
you
put work
bitch-made
in.
switch hitter. South America, everyone went extinct there. They have less culture there than the content of my toilet bowl. Rainforest, schmain forest. And Mexico, if I wanted to be that close to my ancient ancestors, I'd be banging my mother-in-law instead of my wife's best friend.
We can fight like beasts, need to disagree. I'm sure the summit of your aspirations in life is a cheerleader with fake guns, but some of us think a little more exotically than this. Next caller, vamos, buenos dias and noches. If you don't smile, I won't deep. Sorry, got lost for a second. Speak.
Hey, I love this show. I'm a huge fan. I visit all the places you recommended, and in a lot of them, they're still talking about you. I even got posters of you in the customs booth at the airport in the Philippines. You rock!
No doubt, I love me great time.
That show you did last week? What was the name of that spiritual center in Bangkok?
The Wild Dragon's Happy Ending. Very spiritual. You will find inner peace.
Awesome. I can't wait. Thanks, man.
Yes, we all love to travel. Get away from it all. Get away from the people with computers and their databases. The police harassing you for doing nothing. I just hate showing up to some place to enjoy myself and people being forced from their homes by war or famine or whatever. Life is great. Stop ruining it. Next caller.
Hey, the FBI wants to talk to me about a perfectly innocent collection of vacation photographs overseas. I had no idea we're being taken. I didn't anything to interpret. I was teaching him how to swim.
I have a lot of experience with this. I want you to stop for a moment and let me read from my travel journal. I think everyone should keep a journal. Paste pictures, notes. Sometimes people object to taking a picture. A few pennies of their local currency and they will fall. Some people think this is patronizing, but I think it is fair enough. They need the money and I need the company. Besides which, it is the oldest profession. What? Oh, time for me to head south again. I'm James Pedeaston, and this has been The Wild Traveler.
The Wild Traveler, the show that takes you around the world and abandons you at the airport.
The news and all the other things that really matter to you. Like sensationalist bullshit.
The day of liberation is here. Throughout history, only the biggest and strongest survive. Being big means you're successful, and women love big men.
Hey, motherfucker, what
Let's
city
roll,
you
homie,
from?
families.
The fuck, you ain't gonna say anything?
WCTR.
If you love to hear liberals whine and conservatives lecture, then stay tuned for I Say You Say.
The future of America. Threatened again. I'm Dr. Phillips.
And I'm also Dr. Phillips. Today on the show, do cave paintings in museums make us violent?
The anti-beef movement. Both Hitler and Mussolini.
Go to hysterics, society.
Let me guess. Grove Street, you know?
Our last names, but that's about it. I'm Peyton, that's my wife Mary, and this is I Say You Say, where left is right.
Or where East meets West, and the West always wins. That wall came down, darling.
Yes, unfortunately it did. I don't know if you saw today's news, so who is in the right in this great dialectical disaster? Is it love your fellow man and all wear matching jumpsuits while working on the Pork Hydroponic farm growing potatoes? Or kill or be killed, crush the weak, and starve the poor, as my wonderful wife thinks. You decide. Or let us decide for you. Give us a call. My wife, a professor in social Darwinism, or me, lecturer in pointless anthropology.
That's the problem with liberals. They don't know when to shut up and enjoy freedom. Let's go to the phones.
Yeah, hi. Here's the deal. I'm really funny. Nobody wants to hire somebody funny. I mean, how is that fair? I mean, I'm white, middle class, very erudite. Whatever that means. Just respond back. I don't understand it.
Are you related to my husband?
I don't think so.
I hope not. Have you got a question about politics?
Yeah, sure. I know a lot about politics. I do your job. You know, I used to be on the radio back in the day.
Even my husband can't do his job, you strange pathetic little sap. Let's have a real caller, please.
Hi, my name's Michelle. I'm a first-time caller to the show. I wanted to know what you guys thought about the proposition to ban smoking.
Well, this is a simple issue. Smoking. Democracy at work again in our state. Seems like a good thing when you first look at it, but democracy only works when you agree with it. Then it's best to favor a totalitarian state. I'm not sure about this one.
I think smoking is an invasion of my body, and I've always wanted to shoot people. I'm right behind the proposition.
Me too. Thanks, Michelle.
I also wanted to say hi to my stepbrother, Phil. He's been undergoing a hair transplant today. Hey, Phil, if you're listening, I hope it sticks this time. I won't tell anyone you got bugs, honey. I'm really proud of you.
That's great, honey. But if you want shout-outs, call the rap station.
That's offensive, and I'm really offended by what you're saying. I'm a smoker. This used to be a free country.
When?
Yes, good point. But remember, our founding fathers grew tobacco. Relaxed them between stressful stints of genocide and witch burning. And you're so against raising taxes, smokers pay more taxes than anyone. My grandfather smoked his whole life. He lived until he was 32. So what I'm saying is, why can't we encourage more smoking and use the money to pay for better health care and some cultural programs, bringing expressive dance and sun worship back to the inner cities?
Worrying about the inner city has ruined your academic career, and this woolly thinking is going to ruin your chances of getting anywhere with me tonight. The thing is, smoking is good because it lets people make a lot of money, but so is selectively culling the population. So what I'm doing is change the proposition. Let people smoke, make cigarettes much cheaper, and force everyone to smoke. That way we weed out the weak, make a lot of money in tax, and keep our national heritage intact.
Line 2, you're on I Say You Say.
Ah, I listen every time to your show. Really made me think about the world a whole new way. I moved out of the city because it sucks. Now I live in a compound surrounded by barbed wire and shoot and kill anyone I don't recognize on my land. Just want to say thank you. That's quality broadcasting.
Thanks. Makes me feel a lot better about myself. Have you got a question?